welcome back. So what we're going to do here is work on our Mardi Gras tumbler. Now, I somehow did not film me putting the glitter on this, but I just spray painted it with this golden yellow color, and I put epoxy on there, and I just doused what's it called? Versailles from Peachy Olive Glitters. And I picked this color out, or this particular gold glitter out, because I really needed a gold, but I really needed a yellow gold. And I didn't want to go with an actual yellow because I really needed more of like a gold base. And so that's why I used the bright gold, yellowy, I think it's called Sunset or something like that, yellow from Rust-Oleum. Anyways, that really was the perfect base for this particular gold glitter that is from Peachy Olive. It's really a stunning glitter, but it is a very brash, very bright gold. And so unless you're really looking for that kind of gold, you know, it can give you the wrong kind of vibe, but this was exactly what I wanted. So I did coat that in a coat of epoxy, and I did a little bit of sanding, and then I coated it again. Now that is to make sure, because this is a clear base here that we're dealing with, this clear cast, transparent basic vinyl wrap. And I got this from, you know what? I'm gonna list it down below because I'm not sure if I got it from Alana's gift shop or if I got it from Peachy Olive. But anyways, I'll definitely list where I got it from down below, so just look down in the description. But I made sure that it was all clear, that the bottom layer, that top layer of the epoxy was nice and smooth and no flaws or anything. So that way we could do this clear wrap around here. What I wanted was I wanted that gold, that yellowy gold, to come through those diamond shapes there, right? So here I'm just using my Cami Page Boutique cutter, and I'm just cutting that top and that bottom off. I did make sure that I kind of pushed down a little bit on that bottom part so that I could get like a real smooth edge, and then I just kind of trimmed off a little bit there at the bottom. I just went around and made sure that I popped any bubbles or, you know, straightened out any kind of flaws that might have been while we wrapped it around, because you're never going to get a perfect wrap. So what I did here was I really wanted to bring in an Argyle plaid kind of look, right? So I wanted to bring in the purple and the green as like stripes down into this Argyle pattern. So at first I was like, I had that little bit of that kind of off in the back side where it didn't really line up all that great. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go around as I put these double-sided tape strips on here, and I'm just gonna kind of think about how I can fix, or what I can do to kind of cover that up. Because I knew I was going to be adding elements, different types of elements, kind of like what I did last year for my Mardi Gras tumbler. And so I was just thinking, well, I could probably put Mardi Gras, you know, all down the side there. And, but I really wanted to add these double-sided these little tape, these pinstripes. Now, I didn't have anything that was thinner than this. So I decided that I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the purple and the green this way on the bottom. And then I will go in with some gold striping and do the other part of that Argyle plaid look. So I skipped every one at this point because I was thinking that the pattern would come out right if I did it this way, right? Because I had that one edge. But then, so I ended up taking off that middle, that one down the bottom. down the back. I'm sorry. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and take off all of the strips here and do purple. That way we're not getting any mistaken type purple in with the green or anything like that. So I just went ahead and did all the purple at one time. So I just put the double-sided tape on there and then removed the other side and rubbed in. So I kind of burnished the purple in there. Now this is Belieber, and it is the perfect, I almost used teak, but I really wanted something a little bit, teak is just so thin. It was just so fine cut, and I really needed something maybe that was a little bit thicker, what I felt like a little bit, a little more something to it. Plus I didn't want to get just fine purple glitter stuck to everything. So I thought that this was better choice, but either one of those would be absolutely gorgeous on this as far as that royal purple that you need for a Mardi Gras. So then after that, I went in, you know, in between each one of those purple stripes, and I put some more double-sided tape, just the exact same thin double-sided tape, and I used Christmas Town, because you really honestly, you don't think that you need like a Kelly, like a green like this, but it really is the perfect kind of Mardi Gras green, is that Kelly green. Because if you use anything that's a little more teal or a little more blue, you could totally get into kind of a mermaid kind of vibe. So I just always, I'd really like to try to get more of like a Kelly green, and this is a perfect Kelly green. Before I went in and put that green on there, I went ahead and brushed off really, really well all of that purple, just to make sure that I wasn't going to get any contamination into my double-sided tape or my, you know, remnants of the Christmas Town that's laying on the bottom. I didn't want any purple in there as well. So I just made sure that I brushed it off really well. You can do that, you know, in the trash, or you can just do it on the paper just in case, and put the rest of it back in the jar if you have that much that's coming off of there. I did try to make sure that I was just brushing that particular area of the green stripe so that I wasn't getting any kind of, you know, contamination with that purple. So just be careful with that. Just don't be, you know, too violent with your brushing and all over, you know, that kind of thing. But make sure you do burnish this glitter into these sticky tapes. Just kind of rubbing it down and making sure that you're covering the entire tape with that glitter really does help out a lot for, you know, just getting kind of a finished look for it. And I just went around and finished the rest of this tumbler with that purple and that green, just to give us all of that base of those Mardi Gras colors, which is that golden yellow and that Kelly green and that beautiful royal purple. I really think that I was going to go around and do some more of these, but I really needed something thinner, so that's why I went to the vinyl. And to make sure that I wasn't going to be messing up any of this glitter, I went in with a coat of epoxy so that we could put our stripes of vinyl over this as soon as this cured. And that way we could do whatever we needed to. And that way we weren't pulling up any kind of glitter or messing up anything along the way. So once again, I was trying to look for the right kind of gold. And I have this holographic yellow color, and it's kind of an orangey yellow. And I thought, you know what, if I cut this thin enough, you know, like I think it was like a 0.075 is maybe what I cut it at, and then I just cut it as long as I could on the 11 inches 0.5 or something long, because I knew it was going to be wrapping around the tumbler, and you need a little bit more when you're doing that kind of stuff. So I just kind of did it that way, just to, you know, cover all my bases as far as that goes. But so what I did was I started at the top of each one of those stripes. So like the purple stripe, then the green stripe. And then I made sure that it was going through the diamonds on the side through the middle as much as possible. So I did kind of have to pull it up and really make sure before I was, kind of letting it lay down, and I was, pushing it onto the tumbler, making it more of a permanent stripe. Was just making sure that we were in line with everything, because what I was going to be doing was bringing a stripe on the other side going the other way. And once we do that, we're really, if our lines are just like so jacked up, we're not going to get that really cool Argyle plaid look. So once I got all of those on that one side going in one direction, I came back and I did the exact opposite direction, right? So it's, pretty fairly straightforward here. The only thing that I am going to show y'all at the end is kind of how I did that back part, right? That it was kind of off just a little bit of the lines. So I did end up kind of making that purposefully, I kind of did it exactly let me see if I can find the right words for that. I just kind of took the lines that were there, and I'll show a picture and kind of a diagram of like what I did, so that everything just kind of flowed so well you really couldn't even tell that it was, that there was a piece there that was kind of cut differently. And once I got done with that, since there's so much vinyl and so much touching and so, everything, I made sure that I did give a good cover of Mod Podge on this. And then I set it on my turner just to spin, to dry, and dry about 30 minutes, and you're ready to go on the next coats of epoxy there. So here's a still shot of what I did as far as the stripes. So as I just kind of took that middle line there and made that my starting point, I guess, if you will. And I just pulled that over, like, as you can see. So each piece was just a tad bit longer. And then I started that on the other side. I did the exact same thing. I kind of started on that line and came down the middle like that. So I just wanted to kind of show y'all how I did that backside. And as soon as that Mod Podge was dry, I went in with a coat of epoxy. And I think, put another coat of epoxy. And then, of course, I went in with some sanding, right? So there was a little bit of that vinyl that had kind of pulled up. It always is going to happen. Or just little air bubbles or anything that, little fuzzies or something that got in there. So I went around and went around the edge, went around the bottom, and then went around the entire tumbler doing some filing or sanding, anyways, just to get it ready for our next step. So I did actually film me working on how I got this particular Mardi Gras phrase. I did it in the AI, and then I brought it into Cricut and had it cut. I did film that, and I was thinking about doing a video for it. If you would like to see it, let me know. Maybe I can release that sometime in the next few days. But I can show you how I brought in these particular alphabet pictures that were on Creative Fabrica, and then I put them together and then made this phrase myself. So it is unique and one of a kind for me and this tumbler. So I did find some other elements on Creative Fabrica. I went down a rabbit hole for quite some time, found very, very, very many different things, and I finally had to narrow it down to just these particular ones that were going to kind of give me the vibe that I was looking for. So I found these, different words or different like hearts and things that you can put on. You could sublimate them onto a tumbler, or you could sublimate them onto a shirt, or, whatever. But I'm using them in this sense. Kind of like last year, I had a different type of base and look to it, but I still wanted to have that kind of, Mardi Gras is a little bit of more excess, right? So it's being a little extra, if you will. So I thought that it would be a lot of fun to add, a lot of aspects to the tumbler and just kind of make, all around it be something to look at. And because design space is so cool, I was going to use this Mardi Gras like pattern look to it, and it had all the Mardi Gras colors, and it was kind of cool. And I thought it would be really cool to use as a leopard base, a leopard print base. But Cricut would not, the design space would not let me upload it and would not let me do what I wanted to do. So I resorted to this kind of rainbowy, holographic-y, whatever vinyl that I had. It was not the exact thing that I wanted. The colors were just a tad bit off, but it was really the only thing that I had, and I didn't want it to just be purple or just be green or just be gold. And so I don't know. I thought that this was going to be a good, and I do like it. It just wasn't the exact, like I had something set in my mind and that was what I wanted, but Design Space didn't let me do it. And so whatever. Anyways, so I ended up cutting these hand-drawn, I don't know if I got them, where I got them, or I'm sure you have some kind of leopard print cut that you could use here. But if not, I'll try to link something down below. But I did cut out these fleur-de-lis as well, these images, and I thought that they would be just kind of a fun little element to add in as like a leopard print, but it's, like, oh, there's a fleur-de-lis there, kind of thing. And so that's why I decided to, so this was very random, I just kind of put whatever spot in whatever spot I felt like it was, it needed to be, or it looked okay to do it there. I did pick and choose my colors. I kind of wanted it to have that, look to it. And so I kind of went around and picking like the smaller, it just really was just kind of like, I just chose different ones because they fit or they looked right in the particular area. But I did add several of those fleur-de-lis in there just to kind of give it that look. I did end up adding these little mask balloons. I added one over the eye, like for it to be part of the eye there. Mardi Gras with the, anyways. So I added a few of these on there, but I was afraid. I was like, is it getting too much? Is it, so I kind of stopped after that. Like I didn't want to do anything more. I went ahead and added my logo at the bottom. Now this material that I used to print on was this metallic printing paper that I got from this company that sent it to me, and it is really awesome. I've used it twice now, and I just love it. No, I've used it multiple times, more than twice. But for an actual like tumbler and a project, I thought it's really shiny and gives you just a really extra little something there. So what I did there at the end was I put my outdoor coating cover on there because I wanted to make sure that we were covering everything, because I had printable, I had vinyl, I had all kinds of stuff. So I thought I would just use that outdoor, coating stuff that I've used before. And I thought that would be the perfect thing to kind of give me that finish that I needed. And it did work out really well to give me those final coats of epoxy. And then after that coat, I went in with some sanding. I sanded the rim. I sanded all around just to make sure that the bottom part had a good, there was nothing going on there with that, and just, covering up the logo and making sure we had a final product. And that was it. And there she is. Really unique look on this. This was very different. I had in mind immediately when I saw this this vinyl sheet with those diamond shapes on there, I knew immediately that I wanted to do this kind of Argyle look with a Mardi Gras, to do something very different from what I did last year. And so I just had a lot of fun picking out all of the different things. There's like a bazillion things for Mardi Gras, and you could go a million different ways. And you could have gone a different way for this as well. Like you could have just used that Argyle look and then, done something a little more fun. But anyways, please like and subscribe. Join my Facebook down below. Let me know what you think. Comment, and I'll see you next time.